Hey there, gamers! Today we're diving into the incredible world of Wuthering Waves. We're gonna break down the lore, uncover some juicy secrets, and get to know our badass main character, Rover. So grab your snacks and let's get started! Alright, now let's talk about our MC, Rover. She wakes up with zero memory of her past. Classic start, right? But she's got this insane power as a multi-attribute resonator. Basically, she can resonate with objects and manipulate their frequencies. She could also absorb TDs just by her hand, without using a terminal. This makes her super important for fixing the world, which is really messed up by the Lament and Waveworm phenomenon. In Act 7, we find out Jue, the Sentinel, calls her Lady Arbiter. Sounds fancy, right? Well, this title implies a significant role in making crucial decisions and resolving conflicts, potentially influencing the fate of the world. What's more interesting is that Jue reveals Rover was its former master, taking orders directly from her in the past. So, to understand Rover's mission, we need to grasp the magnitude of the Lament. The Lament refers to a series of disastrous trends and anomalies collectively known as the Waveworm phenomenon. These events include destructive anomalies like tacit fields, tacit discord outbreaks, retroact rain, and gravity loss. Tacit fields are believed to be the origin points of tacit discords, featuring skies of inverted seas and deep cross-shaped tacit marks on the ground. These areas are filled with reverberations, linking this world to unknown spaces through white resonance chords, which attract tacit discords. Which means these tacit discords are coming from somewhere. And by somewhere, I mean somewhere different than this world. Tacit discords, or TDs, are sentient beings formed from the residual chaotic frequency energy under the Waveworm phenomenon. They're essentially a manifestation of all the built-up energy from the past. These creatures feed on other frequencies to maintain stability and evolve, often mimicking the abilities and behaviors of others and humans. And next up, we've got Abby. He's this cute little creature living inside Rover, but don't let his looks fool you. Abby's a powerhouse. Abby is essentially the source of Rover's power. During the battle against the dreamless Thronodian, he showed he can absorb crazy amounts of energy, which makes him essential for Rover's mission. Abby and Rover also have this super deep symbiotic relationship, meaning their energies and emotions are deeply connected. This bond, known as convergent codependency, is like quantum entanglement. When something happens to one of them, the other one is also affected. Sentinel Jue even points out that Abby is similar to it, but also different. Abby's origins are still a mystery, but we know he's a big deal in Rover's past and destiny. And speaking of Jue, let's talk about this majestic long dragon. Jue is the guardian deity of Jingo, with the power to manipulate time and guide the fate of the region. But right now, Jue's in trouble, trapped by the Frodus. These guys want to harness the power of tacit discords for human evolution. Essentially, the Frodus want to fuse humans with tacit discords. Anyways, Jue's bond with Madam Magistrate Jinsi is vital for the stability of Jingo. However, the Frodus interference has exacerbated Jue's injuries, threatening the region's stability. Luckily, with Jinsi by her side, Rover was able to transfer Jue's temporal mandate over to Jinsi and restore the time flow, so it's all better now. But it's very important to note that Rover was crucial in this battle because this wouldn't have been able to happen without Rover's permission to transfer his temporal mandate over to Jinsi. At the start of the game, we see a goddess taking something out of Rover's chest and implanting what we think is Abby, before sending her down to Sol 3. Rover ends up floating in an upside-down ocean above Huanglong before falling and losing her memories. This divine intervention suggests that Rover is a savior, or maybe a failsafe, sent by the goddess to protect and guide civilizations. So Rover's not just trying to remember her past, she's got a divine mission to save the world from falling apart. And throughout her journey, Rover discovers that she's connected to ancient prophecies and legendary figures. There's this legend about a celestial being who descended and created Pangu, aligning the celestial and terrestrial realms. This being could absorb powerful tacit discords and use that power to rebuild the world. Sound familiar? That's because Rover's got the same abilities. As she learns more about her past and the world, it's clear she's like the first Resonator. Or is the first Resonator. This ancient figure used their power to create balance, and now it's Rover's turn to save Soul 3 from the Lament. I'm betting Rover is the reincarnation or the actual legendary being herself. We already know that she was around centuries before playing Weiqi with Chang'Li's master. But now the questions remain, when and why did she leave Soul 3 in the past? And why did she get sent down so far into the future again? Let's talk about the Black Shores and their connection to Rover. The Black Shores members, like Alto and Camellia, mention Tethys, also known as their Civilization Simulation Sand Table. That's a mouthful. They suggest that Tethys might be a supervisor or a predictive entity within the Black Shores. Tethys seems to have knowledge of Rover and might even predict future events. Later in the same act, when Alto is asked about his supervisor, he responds cryptically. Initially, it seemed like a joke, but if we assume Camellia and Alto are referring to the same entity, we can infer several things. Tethys is the supervisor of the Black Shores members, and also knows who Rover is. Tethys might also be able to predict the future. And the third point is intriguing because Camellia says that Rover is just as Tethys describes. We also learn in Act 5 that Rover has been to the Black Shores in the past, suggesting that Tethys could be someone Rover knew from a prior awakening. Given its title, we can assume it either has the ability to simulate and predict future events, or has lived a very long time. I speculate that Tethys could be the Sentinel of the Black Shores. Guess we'll have to go to the Black Shores to find out. Okay, now let's talk about the Frodus. These guys are bad news. They want to accelerate the next Lament, calling it the true Lament, by resurrecting the Threnodians. Yay. They think fusing humans with tacit discords is the next step in evolution. Their attacks on Jingo and capturing Jue show just how important Rover is to their plans. But hear me out. What if the Frodus are actually right? Maybe their way is the key to breaking the cycle of civilization's death and rebirth. They want to stop Jue from predicting the future, giving the world control of its own fate. But that's just my own speculation. A huge prophecy talks about a fight between Jinxie and Jue, crucial for restoring balance to Jingo. With Rover's help, Jinxie confronts Jue to trigger her second Resonance Awakening. This battle gives Jinxie the Sentinel's powers, allowing her to restore the flow of time and save Jingo from eternal chaos. Rover's role here is vital. She's the only one who can command Jue, being its former master. With her intervention, Jinxie successfully absorbs Jue's temporal mandate, restoring time's flow and preventing a catastrophic freeze. So, Rover's journey isn't just about getting her memories back. She's the savior, sent by the goddess to save Soul 3. Her unique abilities, her bond with Abby, and her connection to ancient prophecies make her the key to restoring balance and stability. Rover is definitely the first Resonator, and I'm really excited to go to Black Shores and uncover more mysteries from her ancient past, along with some more world building to answer some questions I have about the other Sentinels. Are there other first Resonators in other regions? Is Soul 3 stuck in a samsara? And what exactly are the Frodus actually trying to achieve? In a quest called Wait for Gordo, we get this super eerie dialogue. As the sun beats down and the ocean breeze lulls you, your eyes can't help but be drawn to the massive shadow looming over the beach. It beckons you, calling for your attention and submission. Those man-made, sinister shadows will dance for you. You need only wave the scepter in your hand. Yes, you remember what those shadows looked like. The memories are crystal clear. They flow in and out of your mind like waves, yet they leave you with nothing to keep. Yes, like waves. Time and tears swirl together in an eternal dance. I admit you know everything about the past and future, yet here you are, shipwrecked in this era, stumbling like a newborn. Welcome to this era, Rover. As you awaken again, that's my warm greeting for you. Heed my advice. Don't touch the truth yet. This is for your own good. This encounter is solidified once again by Alto during the 1.0 main story, where he tells us the last time we awakened was at the Black Shores. And another piece of interesting lore comes from the Lustrous Tide description. Above the waves, I cry out loud. Twisting whirls, the response is proud. In chance, you and I shall meet. In shimmering waves, our fate shall greet. This description hints at a future encounter between Rover and the goddess. So does this mean that we are fated to leave Sol 3 again and reawaken another time in the future? Is Rover's mission to establish cities on Sol 3 and set up sentinels to protect during her absence? Arbiter Rover from the past had spoke with Jue about choosing to walk among humanity and making their own choices. Perhaps Arbiter Rover, with her immense power, had become too detached from humanity. How can a god relate to a human? So, to be able to guide and help humanity, one must first understand what it is to be human. Thus, Rover's Journey has placed her in the shoes of the citizens of Jingo, allowing her to learn and understand their struggles and hopes. Anyways, that's all from me today. I hope you enjoyed this little theory sesh with me, and if you did, please hit that thumbs up and subscribe for more lore. Once again, I am Oofie, and thank you so much for watching.